What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're going to do a Raw recap. We opened up with the Raw locker room out at ringside, and Seth Rollins is in the ring. Rollins is there for a town hall meeting. The crowd starts chanting CM Punk as Rollins starts running down Punk. Rollins admits that NXT mopped the floor with Raw and says that the Raw locker room sucked last night. The crowd starts chanting "You suck" and booing. Rollins calls Orton the weak link in the Survivor Series team, to which Orton just walks off. Rollins then turns his attention over to Charlotte Flair, calls her out for not leading her team, and that she's a disgrace to being a Flair. She walks off. Rollins turns to the AOP and says, "You weren't there last night, so you shouldn't even be here tonight." They walk off. He tells Rey Mysterio that he let everybody down more than anybody. You couldn't even win with a lead pipe and a stupid kid. The crowd starts chanting "asshole" as Rey Mysterio and the rest of the locker room walk off. Kevin Owens is left standing on the apron. Rollins calls Orton Mr. NXT, calls him a lazy piece of crap, and that he'll never be Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens responds with giving him a stunner and walks off. A few moments later, Seth Rollins challenges Kevin Owens to a match later on tonight. Really, we did not need to go through all of this shit. Then we go on to our first match, Bobby Lashley versus Titus O'Neil. The ravishing Russian Lana is at ringside. Not long after this match starts, Rusev comes running out. He attacks Bobby Lashley, causing a disqualification. Lana is ear-piercingly screeching as Rusev is beating down Lashley. The fight continues up onto the stage. At this point, the police show up. They arrest Rusev for a restraining order, but not before Rusev shoulder blocks Bobby Lashley off of the stage and kicks over a piece of truss on top of him. We then have the AOP versus Hawkins and Ryder. Guess what? Squash match. AOP wins. We then have Akira Tozawa versus Andrade. This match was okay. There really wasn't much to it. Andrade won with the hammerlock DDT. Backstage, Aleister Black says he's going to cash in on Buddy Murphy knocking on his door. Which brings us to our next match, Buddy Murphy versus a returning Matt Hardy. Wow. This was a decent match. It was a good return for Matt Hardy, but a couple of knee strikes and a V-trigger ends the return of Matt Hardy, and Buddy Murphy wins. Murphy gets on the microphone and calls out Aleister Black. Aleister comes running out and makes quick work of Buddy Murphy, sending him running up the ramp. Then we have AJ Styles versus Humberto Carrillo for the United States title. As Carrillo's walking down the ramp, the OC come running down and attack him, hitting the Magic Killer on the steps. The officials come running out to attend to Carrillo. AJ gets on the microphone and says, well, it's unfortunate that he can't compete. Ricochet then challenges AJ for the title. AJ says no. Then Randy Orton comes out. He says that Carrillo can't compete, but I can. And he's sure that Chicago would love to see him RKO AJ Styles through the apron. He then challenges AJ. AJ says no. Drew McIntyre comes out. He challenges AJ. AJ chickens out. Rey Mysterio comes out. Guess what he's asking for?
And to make a long story short, too late!
This all culminates into a fatal four-way for a #1 contender for the United States title. Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton. This is a decent match. Halfway through, the OC come out. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton did some deafening shots to each other. The OC pull out Randy Orton as he's trying to pin Drew McIntyre, beating him down for a bit. Mysterio rolls up Ricochet, gets the pin, so he'll be facing AJ Styles next. AJ was dominating most of the offense through most of this match. Carl Anderson interferes. The referee ejects both members of the OC. AJ Styles wrecked his nuts trying to do a sliding dropkick into the corner. Mysterio tries to rally back. He hits a 619, but AJ Styles knocks the referee. The OC come back. They attack Mysterio. Orton comes out. He attacks the OC. Mysterio gets a 619 on AJ Styles, which is followed by an RKO from Randy Orton. Mysterio pins Styles and is now the new United States champion. Dominic comes running out to help celebrate with Mysterio. Seriously, I really think they probably should have done this with Drew McIntyre. Backstage, Kevin Owens calls Seth Rollins a prick and says he's going to be turning Monday Night Rollins into the Kevin Owens show. We then have Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Kairi Sane is at ringside. This was a decent match. It had a pretty good runtime. Kairi Sane tried to get some interference in. Asuka sprayed the green mist onto Charlotte Flair and got the pin. I know that's part of her character, the whole green mist thing, but it seems to be the crutch of all of her winning. I could see if it was like a desperation shot, then do it, but when it starts going over and over again, it's, the law of diminishing returns. We then have Eric Rowan versus a jobber. As soon as the bell rings, the jobber rolls out of the ring, tries to peek under the cage. Eric Rowan comes out, beats him down, gets him back in the ring, gives him 2 iron claws, and gets the pin. I think I have an idea of who's in the cage. Right here. In the backstage segment, Lana says that everybody's asking how Bobby's doing.
Nope.
And says that Rusev should be fired and sent back to Bulgaria, and that most importantly, she's fine. Bullshit. We then go to our main event, Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. After getting it handed to him in the beginning part of the match, Seth Rollins grabs a chair, but the ref stops him. At one point, Jerry Lawler keeps referring to that unlucky turnbuckle, but throughout the night he keeps referencing a different turnbuckle through most of this. Please come back, Dio Madden. After trading a bunch of super kicks and a Kevin Owens stunner, the AOP come out, they beat down Kevin Owens for a bit. The crowd is chanting bullshit. I kind of agree with that. The AOP turn their attention over to Seth Rollins. He gets up, tells them to come on, and the AOP leave. What the fuck? With Kevin Owens still down, Seth Rollins gives him a curb stomp, followed by another, as we end tonight's Raw. Tonight's Raw was okay. I mean, it was decent. The matches were pretty good. Just way too many talking segments once again, and Jesus Christ, Jerry Lawler needs to shut the fuck up. I understand it's a two-man team. They really need to get Dio Madden back in there or somebody to replace Lawler. But that'll do it for this episode of Raw Recap. I'll be back tomorrow for the SmackDown review. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's Raw, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.